Hello and welcome to Scott's Odyssey. Told you guys that the video was going to be a little bit later than was what expected. Sorry if there's any wind. I told you I broke the lav mic. Got to go get a new one of those. If you can help me out, you know where to go. But wanted to give you a quick shot. This is the crew that's working right now with WPSU for the Our Town project. Okay, so we're out in the parking lot of the Raystown Visitor Center. Nerves are like going crazy. Sit here and I tell you guys about all these different things, and we record all the time, but when somebody else is holding the camera, it's a different story. What do you think? They had some gear. Like here I am on this fancy recording device, and yeah, this truck is not big enough to handle how much gear that they had out there. It was pretty interesting. I'll try to get you as much footage as I can, and we'll see what goes. I have cell phones.
Yeah, but the cell phones anymore are just...
So here we are inside the Raystown Visitor Center, and here's the guy who's going to make the magic happen. But he's not doing it alone. Like I said, I already showed you the whole team. What else do you want from me? The story of Raystown Lake doesn't begin on the surface or in the here and now. The story begins deep in the channel, the soul of the Juniata River. The Native American Indians of this region had no tribal claims to this land. They were nomadic tribes that followed the game and hunted as they moved across this area. Tenacious families of Scots-Irish were part of the first wave of people to come. These were my people. By nature, they were spirited and hardy entrepreneurs who settled in this area long before there was even a country. The story of Raystown Lake starts with the Raystown Dam and the Raystown Hydroelectric Power Plant. Liam Hatcher Simpson is a direct descendant of the Simpson brothers that dreamed big and delivered. This is Liam on the banks of the same Juniata River 118 years later. This is her, I'm doing it, and then she'll walk off with her. I can do what you do, and she'll talk to it. And it got really funny. It's still funny how we're, as a sidekick, or as I refer to her, the now former indentured servant daughter, she comes out on these. And everybody responds really well to her occasionally popping in. They don't realize, no, she's my roadie.
Right.
Did I change my height like that?
No, I was going to go down lower, but then I realized I'm getting the shot.
Yep. My name's not Scott. Hi, I am Scott's Odyssey, and I'm here to tell you about the displacement of all the families before they filled the second part of the big lake.
Okay, so give me just a little, kind of connect the two lakes for me. There was a dam, there was the first dam, and then there was the second dam. Just give me a brief and years-ish when they built the second dam.
With all the wonderful things everyone says about the lake, they forgot that the history comes with a dark side as well. Many people know the story about H, the location of a town that's now underwater. But many do not realize that for every house in H, there were two more along the banks of Raystown Creek that met a similar fate. The event of moving these residents was traumatic. I've spoken with a few who are still around and some that have passed on, and the stories are all similar, where they state their voices were not heard by the county, or more so it was likely that they were heard but just ignored. And then the Army Corps of Engineers came through with a plan. The plan was to essentially give equal property asset to each owned home and either give the residents a comparable home on their new property or enough money to build a comparable home, or when possible, move the existing home to the new location. And that's the good part of the story. But there's a darker side. The parts where if you were a resident and you did not accept the original plan, your home, or as it is stated in the records, even though the pictures show you houses, your cabin was now a condemned easement by eminent domain. Those who lived in these homes found themselves forcibly removed from the property, and in return, they received $4,125 per quarter acre as the estimated asset value of the property, which may seem fair, but between 1965 and 1969, the average price for a two-bedroom home on a quarter acre of land in this valley was $128,000. So the people were being forced out of their home and compensated 3% of the value of their property. One of the Simpsons buildings, their actual cabin, was condemned by the Army Corps of Engineers, who stated it would not survive a move. So the Simpsons took it upon themselves to load it up and move it themselves to one of their other properties nearly 30 miles away on top of a mountain. And the rest of the homes in the valley were just razed and the rubble was removed. They say nothing was left behind, which is mostly true, but during the lake drawdown, you could actually walk past the ruins of the Brumbow homestead directly across the no longer existing Weller Road and stop at the former intersection of Weller Road, Backbone Road, and Garner Road right out front of the foundation remains and rubble of the James Creek Church. Then there are the cemeteries, which were all claimed to be moved. H alone had 407 graves, and there are a good number of other cemeteries we know of that are under the water, not counting the ones we did not have record of existing. And the reality is, the state never moved the graves. They only moved the stones. To this day, there are at least 3 other cemeteries that sit right on the edge of the waterline, including the one that houses Jane McGuire Dowling of the infamous McGuire Massacre story.